Hi everyone, welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. How are you guys doing today? Happy Wednesday, guys. It's Wednesday. This week is really going by really quickly. So guys, I hope you're taking care of yourself, and I hope you're self-caring. It's so important, guys, especially with everything that's going on right now in this world that's spinning out of control and on a negative. Take care of yourself, guys. It's so important to do that. Um, it's just, our mental and physical health will suffer if we neglect it. So make sure you're not neglecting it. Take time out for yourself. The self-care, do things that lift up your spirit, make you feel good about yourself, because when you do these things, it's going to help you. Remember, our body is our temple, and as we take care of it, it takes care of us. So with that being said, I hope everyone is doing well today, and thank you all for many of you who are subscribing to the channel, leaving comments. Continue to do that, because and continue to share these videos. It's going to help other people too. Remember, we're here to uplift, not to tear down, and that's important that we keep this going. Also, I want to remind you guys that I'm not a therapist, I'm not a social worker or a counselor. I'm just someone who share my personal experiences of everything that I've gone through, and how I became an overcomer as I decide that I wasn't going to succumb to these problems and challenges, that I was going to overcome them with the help of God. And I hope these messages resonate with you. Maybe some days they don't, other days they do resonate with you, because you will learn ways that I overcame these obstacles that kept repeating itself. If you have been watching my videos on a regular, I always talk about people, situations, and circumstances coming into our life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, or a lesson. And in my case, I talk about many of these things are lessons, that unlearned lessons that I wasn't learning. So history repeats itself, right, guys? If you don't learn it, it's going to come back in a different shape and form, but it's the same theme, the same scenario. Different characters in a play, but the same play. So I had to learn to overcome these things so I can shut those doors forever and it doesn't come back again. And I'm going to talk to you about ways I've done that so it can help you as well. So stay tuned, guys. The topic of discussion today is crawl, bite, and persevere through the challenges. Once again, crawl, bite, and persevere through these challenges. Do not succumb to them. Guys, because when you succumb to them, then you are saying it's okay to allow your mental and physical health to deteriorate. And if you're not okay, you're not in a place where you are okay, physically or mentally, then you can't help yourself or anybody or anything else around you. So please keep that in mind. Self-care is so essential, is so important. And never allow people to tell you that you're being a narcissist or being self-absorbed because you spending time by yourself healing, or that you set some strong boundaries so that they can't come in and distract you. Never allow anyone to tell you that self-care and your time alone is being selfish because you got 1,000 responsibilities over here and over there. How can you take care of any of that if you don't take care of you first? You have to make yourself a priority, people. It's important. Self-care, something like what I have on now, some jazz music playing in the background, some flowers. I'll get some new ones probably tomorrow. And just self-care. And I listen to a lot of music, especially when I feel that my vibe is getting in that low vibration. I have a playlist of music, put that on. That helps. Within a half an hour, my vibe is right back up there. Go to the gym like I went earlier. And I'm trying to make it where I go to the gym a little more often, and just keep taking care of yourself, guys. And it's so important. Also, make sure you're setting those boundaries, because some people will still try to come in and disrespect those boundaries. You know, what I do in my case, because I've had a lot of that before, especially when I first got on this journey to heal, is people being dismissive, disrespectful towards what I'm doing and disregarding it. And, you know, I set strong boundaries, and then when they continue to disregard, I disconnected permanently, because, you know, I am important, just as you are important, guys. Never let anyone diminish who you are, make you feel less than zero. I remember a time, wow, when my son was very young. I was in this 9-10 year relationship, one of the most abusive relationships I've been in my life. And you know, it's I can understand. This is why I can talk about it. Because why it took a long time to get away from this ex, because this person can be very persuasive, very manipulative, and very convincing, and very narcissistic, you know. And you know, one of the things that really helped me to get away from this is when my son was being affected by certain things that was happening that I was allowing, because I was, you know, kind of terrified of this person. And my self-esteem suffered so much, guys. I mean, it was less than zero. And, you know, it just, when someone do something for you, it should be from their heart. It should be because they want to do it, not because you don't have something, even though you're working and doing, etc. I wasn't in a position back then as I am today. And, you know, and when someone gives you something, you think, oh, wow, okay, you know, and it's something you probably need, but you didn't ask for. And then that person in an argument makes you feel bad about something. Well, what would you do if I wasn't here to give it to you? What would you do, and how would you do? And my answer would be, well, before you came along, I was doing what I need to do, you know? And it's like this ex always had something nasty to say. And at least I am today is so different. I was having a conversation with someone who I grew up with not too long ago, and she was saying to me, wow, you really grew up. What I did is worked on myself, healed, and I speak my truths now instead of suppressing it. Because suppression leads to oppression, you know, because if you don't say how you feel and you let people do anything and however, whatever they want to you, they're not going to stop. They're going to keep doing it and treat you like a doormat, like that ATM machine, and disregard you, you know. And I started to notice a lot of things in that situation, you know, how we were just diminished because it was just too much, instead of going into the details. And when I finally, the last time that the relationship, because we went back and forth for a while, the last time was the last time. And as I healed those things, because I was in a lot of pain from the verbal abuse, and then towards the end it got physical, and nobody should ever have to put up with that. And at least I am today, I wouldn't put up with an ounce of it, you know, because when you heal these things and that situation tries to resurface again, this is when you close that door and padlock it. This is why I always talk about persevering, because these situations will come back around like a test, and even after you start to heal. And you know what I do is say, no, I don't want this, you know. But with a narcissistic individual, you can say no 1,000 times or whatever. They feel like they're entitled to you or something like that. Nobody is entitled to you. You know, you can give your time freely to whomever. And if you don't want certain people in your life, you have a right to set boundaries, strong ones. You have a right to do that. No one has a right to tell you, because you share DNA or whatever else you share, that they have a right to be in your life. They're entitled to you. And I laugh at that today because I think that's a huge joke to me. It just shows the ego that these people have. And what I do is set strong boundaries, and I stick by those boundaries. Cut off, block, and delete. In the past, it was hard for me to do that. But I talk about the pro and con list, and when I see I was overgiven from those lists that I was doing, then it's time to set boundaries. And people don't like boundaries because they're used to being, using you like a doormat until you're used up, etc., and so forth. And now they can't do that anymore because you set some strong boundaries. So, and it's also a distraction when they keep trying to come in and you setting these boundaries and they keep stepping over them. It's a distraction from healing, from taking care of yourself, because sometimes we just need to be alone so that we can see things from a different perspective, heal, look at the pain, address the elephant in the room, and then make changes in our life for the better that's going to better us. And when someone don't want to see you make those changes that's going to better you in your life, that's a problem to me. That's a huge problem. Why would someone not want to see you heal, grow, and evolve? And they trying to stop that, block it, and distract you. I just cut people off because I don't have time to figure out why, when, or whatever the particulars are of those situations. Cut off, block, and delete. Because anyone who really care about you and love you and support you and what you're doing, they are going to be in your corner. They're not going to be trying to be behind the scenes, trying to break you down, make you fall down. And, they want to see you win. They want to see you heal, grow, and evolve. And if it's anything else, it's toxic, guys. And I don't accept anything toxic in my life anymore. What I do is close the door and padlock it. I don't allow it in. And saying no for me in the past was very difficult. I would always try to please everyone else and suppress my feelings and how I felt about things, and then when obstacles and situations occur, I wouldn't fight as hard as I do today. I will crawl, bite, and chew through those things, especially things that I know that I don't deserve. Know what's for your highest good, guys. Know what you deserve and what you don't deserve. You don't deserve to be broken down, busted, and disgusted because someone wants you in that energy. You don't deserve to be verbally or physically abused because someone thinks you should be happy that you have them in your life. Peace is better to me than having any of those situations in my life. Peace instead of being broken down into pieces. And when people make you feel low and they continue to do it, first set boundaries. Address it. Address that elephant in the room. Don't pretend it's not there. And when it continues, then it sets boundaries. For me, after the boundaries are disregarded, I just cut off, block, and delete because I don't need that energy in my life. I need to stay in a place of healing, peace. Guys. And as you close those doors and move forward, because I stay in prayer with God to ask him to help me, because this is not a one-man show. And as God do that and I close those doors, I also ask him, because I'm human, I make mistakes. If anything is not for my highest good, block it, Heavenly Father, God, block it, because it doesn't need to be in my life. Anything that's not for your highest good, talk to God about it. Ask him to help you block it, because it's just going to distract you from staying on this path to heal. And it's so important to do that, because then you start to look at life and situations and circumstances from a different perspective, because self-care equals self-love. And when you love yourself, you're not going to allow any toxicity into your life, because it's not for your highest good. You deserve better. You do have decisions in everything. You don't have to stay in circumstances that make you feel less than zero. Like I did almost 10 years worth of my life doing that. Guys, you can rise above, crawl, bite, and persevere through any obstacles, whether it's like that or some other circumstances that you know you don't deserve. You can continue to do that and ask God to help you. But I tell you, in my case, when I started to not just self-care, but the self-love, everything changed. And when that peace set in, I know that I would never go back to those things that are not for my highest good, especially when a person tried to throw a hook like you do with a worm on it to hook a fish and draw them in. I'm not being drawn in it anymore. And what I do is I remember, like, I listen to a lot of music, and I relate to a lot of songs, especially songs from the 80s, 70s. And there's a Simon and Garfunkel song that says "The Sound of Silence." And that's what I give narcissistic individuals, people who think that they're entitled to my time and they're entitled to draw me in, and I better do A, B, C, and D. I don't even respond to that, because to me, that's noise. And I'm not going to be distracted by that. I'm just going to stay on this path, keep healing, pray to God. Remember, I talked about in prior videos, burdens. I give my burdens to God, and I no longer carry anybody else's burdens, no matter who they may be. And then I ask God, as I keep moving forward and taking steps, no matter how heavy this feels at times, it's starting to feel lighter because I keep moving and I trust God. He does the rest. And that's where it is, for me, guys. So don't give up on yourself. Your peace of mind and happiness means everything. You don't have to stay stuck in situations. Continue to move forward. The key factor is to persevere. And as you do so, you're going to see the progress. It may be slow, but you will see it. Keep going. Don't give up. Remember, guys, it's better to be at a place of peace instead of broken down into pieces. That's the message today. Share these videos with other people, because like I said, someone is listening and they may be going through struggles and trials and tribulations, and you may not know about it because they don't talk about it. But showing up on this video, hearing my personal experiences and what I do to get through them and how it's helping me, I'm hoping that something resonates here, and you can apply it within your own situations, and that it helps you as well. Thank you all for being here today. This is Lisa, shedding love and light. Please stop by again tomorrow for a new message. Every day is a different message, but it's all related to healing. Because if we don't love and take care of ourselves, how do we expect anybody else to? Thank you again, guys. Enjoy your Wednesday, and I'll see you sometime tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That way you know when I'm here. Thank you, guys. Have a great Wednesday. Bye for now.